The 49ers beat the Commanders on Saturday, not Sunday, Christmas Eve, by a score of 37-20. Is Brock Purdy him? Is he himmy? I don't know. We'll find out on a new Sprint Right Option podcast starting now.
Welcome, everybody.
We are live.
My name is Jason Aponte.
I am Andrew Pasquini.
We're working. That's it. We're working over here. That's it. Let's go Niners.
Let's go Niners. Sprint Right Option podcast. Oh, man, new Sprint Right Option podcast. My name is Andrew Pasquini, joined as always by Jason Aponte. And honestly, I could see how people can be confused since Elon Musk won't let me change back to myself on Twitter. I'm stuck as Jason Aponte, not to confuse anybody, but I am Andrew Pasquini. I have always been. I know I've said that, like, hey, when I grow up, I want to be Jason Aponte, but I have learned not as fun as I thought. I just want to change my Twitter photo, man. That's all I want. That's all I want.
It's karma for cyberbullying. Some people have been able to change. Some people haven't. Unfortunately, Andrew Pasquini, I didn't want you to learn the hard way. Don't do that ever again. And, shout out to everybody in here. Make sure you like this video, subscribe to the channel, hit that notification bell. And also, everybody that's here, hope you had a great time with your family. Happy holidays, Merry Christmas, all of those things. There's plenty of people that wish that they could be with their family that either can't for distance purposes or other reasons. I hope you enjoyed your time. And the San Francisco 49ers and the Golden State Warriors gave you guys, whoever it is, a lot to celebrate.
Yeah, man. I didn't expect us to open with Warriors talk. I didn't watch any of that game. I was too busy being enamored.
Don't care.
I was too busy being enamored by the Nickelodeon broadcast of the Broncos Rams, which I'm sure we'll talk about later. We don't have to talk about it right now, Jason. It was amazing, but we could dive into that later. We have a 49er team to talk about, a team that won their, oh my God, it's gotten to a point where is it 8? It is 8 now. 8? I looked it up last night. Their longest winning streak is 11. So unfortunately, they won't get to that this season because winning streaks only count in the regular season and they only count in one season. So they're not going to be able to beat it. Christian, you are not the first person to ask if I am Banjo Man, but no, give me like 40 years and we could be talking.
I don't know, man. Your beard is better than his.
I feel here's my take. Yeah. If there's ever a prequel movie to Banjo Man, this guy. Okay. I could be the young Banjo Man.
So you are, if they do a Mike Tomlin movie, yes, you are the Omar Epps to Mike Tomlin in that autobiography. So when they do a Banjo Man movie, Andrew Pasquini needs to be first in line to be cast. And for you guys that don't know, look up Mike Tomlin, look up Omar Epps, and literally tell me that there's no difference between the two of them. So, yeah, that's where we're going.
Listen, I did not expect this podcast to open with an Andrew Pasquini, Omar Epps comparison. So I am buzzing now. And honestly, I don't even think we need to talk Niners anymore.
Andrew Pasquini, before we get into the Niners, let me just ask you a question.
Yes.
Do you know who Omar Epps is? Can you name me he's in?
I don't think I can name you. I Googled it. I know who he is. I'm not good with names, but I saw his face. I recognize who he is. I know he's in love and basketball.
Yes.
But that's also because I see
That's it. That's it. Look, that's fine.
But I know who Omar Epps is, and
that's good.
I recognize the name. Wow, Gammon Brown, thank you for the donation. Off topic, but what happened to the sex chat bots? Warriors are last week's news clippings. Go Kings, light the beam. Light the beam, baby.
Light the beam. He's a Sacramento. He's a Warriors fan. Own him, Gammon. Own him.
I'm a Warriors fan, but I'm very pro.
Own him. Own him.
The first question, though, maybe the more important question on this is what happened to the sex chat bot. We can block people, so we just
and that'll only pop up once we get to a certain amount of live viewers. Like if we're able to get to 200, that's when you'll start to see them, and that's when Gammon, Ariel, our mods, that's when you start to cook. Like so, you know how you get that there? Do you know how everybody gets that there? Like this video, subscribe to the channel, hit that notification bell. That's how you get the sex bots to pull up so Gammon and Ariel can get rid of them.
Yes, exactly. So, guys, the biggest reason we need to watch the Sprint Right Option podcast is get the sex bots back. Hashtag bring back the sex bots on the Sprint Right Option podcast. What a wild start to today's episode of the Sprint Right Option. Omar Epps, sex bots. We're having a good time. We're cooking. You know who else is cooking, Jason? As I said, 8-game winning streak. The San Francisco 49ers, they beat the Washington Commanders 37-20. it's another one of those games, kind of like, what was it? Was it the Buccaneers? No, it wasn't the Buccaneers. It was one of the games a couple weeks ago we talked about where the scoreboard says it was a blowout. It felt a little closer than it actually was, but it also felt like it was maybe the Miami game. I forget what game we were talking about, but 17-point win by the Niners. It should have been more, and we'll talk about that later because the Commanders gave the Niners a lot of chances in the red zone at the end of the game. Niners didn't capitalize. But, yeah, man, it's just another dominant victory. I don't think I needed to say, but I think the Niners proved on Saturday at bare minimum that minimum they are better than the Washington Commanders, and I think we knew that going into Saturday. And that, I think to me, man, the Niners are just as good a football team. The Commanders are not, and that's what we saw on Saturday.
And I want to shame people that root for a Dan Snyder-owned franchise.
Yes.
Your team may not be good, but you have to start drawing a line in the sand. Seriously.
Mm-hmm.
Seriously.
Yeah,
I don't want to turn this, I don't want to turn this into a moral thing, but Dan Snyder's not a good person. And
I think Commander fans recognize that too, though.
But the problem is look.
Yeah.
I recognize that with the Knicks owner. And here's the thing. Here's the thing.
Dolan?
Yeah, here's the thing.
Yes.
I can get away with that if my team gave me joy, right?
Yes.
There's times where I've been conflicted with the New York Yankees. 100% been conflicted with them and their ideology. And I said, man, you know what? I can't. But then I thought, you know what? They've given me so much. Maybe I've got to let it slide. But when a team gives you nothing and they are worth nothing, you have to start to make a move here at this point. Dan Snyder deserves nothing. You as a Washington whatever fan, Commander, football team, whatever it is, you have to start understanding that you are supporting nothing at this point. And that's where I jumped in with the Knicks. The Knicks have never given me nothing, so I don't care about them anymore. And their owner made me not care anymore. Same thing with Washington, man. What are you caring about? Carson Wentz is your starter. We trade all this. You know what? No, Carson Wentz is back this week. This team is completely in shambles. You know who I feel the worst for? I don't feel the worst for Commanders fans. I feel the worst for Ron Rivera.
Yes.
Ron Rivera is fighting for his life right now as a Commanders coach.
Yes.
And I couldn't imagine coaching this team. He walked in and said, we're not going to put up with this and this and this and this and this. They changed a little bit, but Ron Rivera is doing the best that he can. I don't want to hear any slander on Ron Rivera. One of the better coaches. He's made a Super Bowl with the Carolina Panthers. He's doing the best. The Washington Commanders are still somehow a playoff team.
Yeah.
I just feel bad for him, and that's who I feel bad for the most. I don't feel bad for Washington fans. You've been had a choice. And you never once walked away. All you had, you could have walked away 12 years ago when you found out that Dan Snyder was a huge piece of shit. I'm sorry. Keep going. Let's talk about the game.
Well, you mentioned Carson Wentz, and maybe we could dive into it, but the Niners finally figured him out. They beat him, technically. Not really, but hey, there's that. Mentioned it on Friday, and you're like, well, he's not going to play. And I'm like, yeah, I know. I'm wasting my time mentioning it. But then I was like, Saturday, I was like, no, I didn't now because he played. I like that. But no, so Jason, let's start at the quarterback position. Brock Purdy, but through 4 games, 3+ starts, 8 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. I don't want to make overarching thoughts on him because, as I said, I just want to take a ride on it, abandon all narratives. I'm really starting to think he's the guy. I don't know. There's something about watching him that I just have this feel. He should get 2 touchdowns for the Kittle touchdown because he had both Kittle and McLeod. Both would have been. The Niners should have gotten 14 points for that. Brock Purdy. Once again, I try to avoid these overarching statements, but I think he's a good quarterback with the potential to be a very good quarterback.
And George Kittle stole that touchdown from Brady McLeod. That was not the play call.
Theft.
Yeah, absolute theft. But it's okay. I don't care. I don't care who catches it. I don't care who catches it. I don't care if the referee catches it and they call it for a touchdown. I don't care. I don't care who catches the touchdown. Fun. Yeah, that would be pretty. Imagine. I mean, hey, whatever.
Imagine a ref catching a touchdown, just saying, "Hey, that's a Niner touchdown," so it works.
No, but let's keep it about Brock. number 4 ranked defense in the NFL. Returning Chase Young in this week. That's something that needs to be spoken about. He has exceeded all expectations. You don't have to make any overarching statements, none. But you can be impressed.
Yes.
There's nothing wrong with being impressed with his play without saying things that are too early to tell. Let me not be the wet blanket, but there's been plenty of players who have come into this league, burnt the league up early on.
Oh, yeah.
Either fallen to earth or completely fallen off a cliff. I don't know what is in the future for Brock Purdy. But to walk away from these games and not say that you're not impressed, my goodness, man. And you know what the funny part is? Every single week that Brock Purdy has to play is more reps under his belt. So the conventional thinking would be it can only go up from here. It can only get better from here because he's seeing more things. He's getting his and this is why you can't rest anybody. This is why you cannot rest anybody these last 2 weeks. Go over there, whip the Raiders' ass just because of that Karen in the highs up seats.
Raiders.
Go cook just for that, please. And I would pay whatever, like, just to go sit there, like in that seat that poor young man who's a Patriots fan had to sit there just to watch the 49ers absolutely fucking destroy the Raiders because they fucking stink.
That feels like a Friday episode conversation.
Yeah, no, I'm sorry.
No, it's okay. It's okay. I love it.
So go do that. And then you know what? You have the Cardinals game, which may not mean anything, right? No. That game may not mean anything based on other circumstances, but you still need Brock Purdy to play those games. You still need Brock Purdy to gain those reps. It's still valuable for him to be on the field, gain rapport with all those guys. I mean, Brandon Ayuk had 87 yards in this game. George Kittle had 2 touchdowns. George Kittle has 4 touchdowns in 2 games, something that is completely unheard of. Fantasy managers, rejoice. We are in the fantasy championship because of George Kittle and Jerick McKinnon.
I don't know if I want to talk. We'll talk fantasy maybe after tonight. I got a bunch of things going on tonight that may or may not decide my championship future.
With Brock Purdy, you have to walk away impressed. You got to walk away impressed. Come on.
Yeah, and I mean, this was maybe – this is a weird word to use, but this might have been the most adversity he faced because he did take the most amount of sacks in a game since the Miami game. He took 3. The Commanders' defensive line was all over him, and he didn't seem phased. And that's the thing that impressed me the most. I mean, he had that one throwaway where he kind of threw that okey-doke spin move on the Commanders' cornerback who was blitzing, that little move to get that ball away. He's just playing with this level of confidence. I feel, and even too, like the interception, which we'll dive into a little bit. It's to me, he didn't get rattled after that. He kept his play up. And to me, him being Mr. Irrelevant and getting that type of bad interception where it's a pass that Jauan Jennings should catch, it gets intercepted, leads to a touchdown that ties the game in the second quarter. That's a tough thing to bounce back from. And I feel like Purdy bounced back very well, especially considering he is, I don't know if Jason, if you've heard this, he's Mr. Irrelevant, last pick in the draft. Pretty impressive for him to bounce back from that as well, because that's a morale breaking interception. In my opinion, you do everything right. Jauan Jennings can't bring it in. And all of a sudden it's a tie game because not all of a sudden, I mean, the Commanders had to drive and score a touchdown, but that's a tough one. I'll reel back he's the guy. I'm just going to continue saying that I have not felt this way watching a 49ers quarterback since Colin Kaepernick. And that should mean something. It's Brock Purdy, man, and it's electric. We were wrong, and that's okay. I'm excited. This is the I was there too. Because you mentioned the camp and all that stuff with it, and I remember explicitly he didn't look good
that day. Those days you were there.
And it was pretty obvious too, because it was 5 snaps for Lance, 3 snaps for Sudfeld, 1 from Purdy.
It's like,
and Purdy still, like, he had the least amount of reps, but he still stood out as the worst of the 3.
Thank you.
And now here we are, 6 months later.
Thank you, Andrew.
Yeah, and that's my thing. And it's okay because things change over the course. But yeah, I definitely saw what you're talking about, Ryan. Thank you for the donation. Jason, you like your sweater? Where'd you get it?
It was on Fanatics. It's a Mitchell and Ness. It's got a nice little 49ers logo here on the side as well too. But Fanatics, if you look on Mitchell and Ness, the 49ers section is pretty large. What Mitchell and Ness does, I live close enough to Philly. They have a little hub, and when you get there, there's like a football section, but it's basically Cowboys, Giants, Niners, and like Packers. And that's where you get to pick. Like they pick the higher franchises, but yeah, that's where I got it. Appreciate you, Ryan, for that, man. Look, here you go.
Gammon Brown, thank you for the donation as well. Make an argument for Kittle getting 2 touchdowns for third consecutive game in a row next week. Expound on recent success.
Gammon,
can we get that at receivers? Can we save it for receivers?
Well, no. Here's no? Let me start this real quick. Gammon, you know why he's gonna get 2 more? Because my fantasy championship that is down to the money is going to need both of those touchdowns right now. Like I have my fantasy team was on a bye and scored 211 points, and I was like, I'm for sure. I was like, I'm for sure cooked this week, right? Like this. Yeah. You know what my fantasy team did this week? And I benched DJ Moore, who had 18 points, 171 points, which easily put me in there. I need all of the George Kittle touchdowns. So sorry, Andrew, I'm not saving that for later.
No, we could definitely touch on the fantasy aspect of it, but in terms of the game aspect, we'll touch on that in a little bit when we get to receivers. Because, Jason, I think we're good on Purdy. I think we talked about Purdy as much.
Yeah, no. Look, respect Brock Purdy. Root for Brock Purdy. It's done. I don't want to hear about who's out of a boot.
Acknowledge Brock Purdy.
Yeah, there you go. I don't want to hear about who's about a boot. Who's out of boot, who's ready to go. No. Like you cannot disrupt this train right now. You just can't. And that has nothing to do with me making statements about who's better, who's what. You throwing either of the other 2 quarterbacks who have been injured into this fray, it doesn't feel like it's optimal at this point.
I think the most electric part from Saturday as well was the very audible Purdy chant that got going on in the crowd too. The fans are behind him. It's lit. We're going good. Hey, Jay Rivera, thank you so much for the donation. Happy holidays from my family to yours. I hope you had a great holiday as well. I thank you very much for that comment. Thank you for the donation. Jason, let's talk about the run game, and it might not be too hard to talk about it. On paper, looks very good. 26 carries, 153 yards, 5.9 yards per carry. However, if you take away the Ray McCloud 71-yard touchdown run, the Niners had 25 carries. 82 yards, less than 4 yards a carry. So not a great game on the ground for the Niners. The Ray McCloud play was electric. I think that really showed you how good the Niners offensive line was, how well they cleared that hole, and how quick we've been waiting for that Ray McCloud play because we've talked about his speed, how explosive he can be, and he hit that hole. He was gone. He was gone. The longest scoring play from scrimmage for the 49ers this season is now held by Ray McCloud. That's really the big thing I took away from the run game because outside of that, like, hey, Tyrion Davis-Price, 9 carries. That's fantastic. Good to see him get some run, 3.3 yards per carry. Not the best, but hey, that's okay. And then Christian McCaffrey, 15 carries, 46 yards. Maybe the worst Christian McCaffrey game in the 49ers era, but the Niners won by 17, so I'm not going to complain. So there you go. Ray McCloud, that's the run game for me.
If you want to just be a box score stat person, yes. Right? Uh-huh. Ray McCloud, 71 average per carry. Feed him the fucking ball every single time.
And I know this isn't that impressive of a stat because he is a receiver. I looked it up entering Saturday. He had 91 rushing yards in his career. So in one run, he almost doubled his rushing career total.
Wow. I mean, but 71 per rush feels like you should get away from everybody else and just hand the ball to Ray McCloud, right?
I know, right? Yeah, no, if you look at it, he might hold the record for highest yards per game or yards per carry in 49ers history.
71 per?
71 per? Debo who?
Roger Craig who?
Yeah, Frank Gore who?
Frank Gore who? Like at this point, At this point, this week has been us just trying to lap up about people that are doing things that nobody else has ever done. 71 per is the highest rush per carry average for anybody. So, hey, acknowledge
Acknowledge Ray. We're just acknowledging people here on the Start Right Option podcast today. Gammon, thank you very much. Last week's speculation concerned the number 2 on the depth chart. How surprising is it that TDP received the bulk of the touches over Coleman?
I love it.
How does TDP 2 over? Well, because we said Tevin Coleman's inevitable on Friday.
So no, look, Kyle Shanahan came out and said that Jordan Mason's hamstring injury was what it was, and he was active and ready to go, but they just decided to make a flip. But I do think it's pretty funny that Tevin Coleman has not gotten any run at all. Like, when we are literally sitting here thinking like, damn, Tevin Coleman, might be the guy, but take care of the guys that you drafted, right?
Yeah.
I mean, at this point, like, you need to figure out what you have in TDP. All that, like, I acknowledge, I'm gonna keep saying it. I acknowledge, Tevin Coleman's contributions in Atlanta. It wasn't the Carolina Panthers on that other side. So, like, it completely makes sense for them to do that. But, no, look, it was good to see TDP get some run. It really was. It really was, man. And I think that's a good thing because the 49ers don't have a great track record right now in the third round. Like, I don't want to keep bringing it up. Like, there was a guy in the third round that they could have had who played in this game that caught a touchdown pass, and I loved and hated that, but, yeah. I like it. You've got to get those guys involved. You have to also instill confidence in them that if their number is called, the coaching staff believes in them. They think that they can get it done. Like that. Like, it's bigger than just trying to give guys reps for whatever reason. So
yeah. I thought TDP was fine. As I said, he didn't get a ton of carries, 9 carries, which is the most he's had in a game this season. He was fine, nothing impressive. As I said, this was probably the worst run game of the season for the 49ers, but as I said, it makes up when you have
Washington has a good defense.
Washington is a very good defense, but it makes up too when you have 1 carry that goes for 71 yards for a touchdown. I think that really cleans up the run game as a whole, and I was pretty impressed with that. So I don't know. I feel like that's all we really can say about the run game because it wasn't that impressive, but that's okay. The Niners won. Receiving, and now we can talk George Kittle, Jason Aponte, 6 receptions, 120 yards, 2 touchdowns. Something I said after his first 2 touchdown game this season, I forget which game it is. My memory is not great today. That's what some stuff does when you do it, whatever. But hey, you know what I'm talking about. You know what I'm talking about, Jason.
I don't know what you can do to
make your memory fuzzy.
No,
but
I don't know.
I mentioned surprisingly after his first 2 touchdown game this season that it was only his second 2 touchdown game of his career, the last coming last year. He now has 3 2 touchdown games this season, 2 in as many weeks. Look at that. Oh, look at Jay Rivera cooking Jason upon. My daughter called Purdy the best quarterback from the Chargers preseason game. She's 17. She said he's Purdy boy. Hey,
Jay Rivera.
That's a good pun.
Jay Rivera, send your daughter to camp then so she can ultimately call out the right things. Like, please do. Please.
We'll get her on the film payroll. That's what we could do.
Yeah, that's it. We'll send her to all 22. Just, you know what, you gotta if we have to pay what we have to pay to get the all 22, just send us $5 and we'll put you on the same drive.
Yeah, we got you. We got you.
Yeah, we got you.
But I'm gonna make my second overarching statement of the podcast, Jason. I don't like to do it. George Kittle's all the way back. There's something about this Purdy to Kittle connection. He seems, I mean, I think it's obvious at this point that Kittle is one of Purdy's favorite targets. He's really good at getting the ball. It's really friction.
Go ahead. I'm gonna
okay, I'll let you. Okay, I haven't seen it. I've been driving a lot today, so I haven't seen that.
I saw it today. I'm gonna finish.
But the connection, it really seems Purdy. It's almost as if you remember we were talking about Garoppolo and McCaffrey, how he's the ultimate check down, like he's your security blanket guy. It feels like Purdy has turned Kittle into that guy. And with Kittle's ability to run in space, it works and it creates games like this. I mean, 6 receptions for 120 yards is ridiculous from a tight end. I really do think George Kittle's back.
George Kittle has never gone anywhere. He was working his way back from injuries. He was missed on open throws. I don't want to talk about like who did that, but I want to talk about this real quick. So Tavarius says friction between Kyle and Kittle. Check out Silver's article. Okay, so Kyle Shanahan spoke about the second touchdown that was for George Kittle, and George Kittle, if you notice that play, is standing right next to Ray McCloud and caught the touchdown. And he said Brock Purdy was hesitating because he noticed two guys there. Okay. But then Mike Silver says something about Kittle being frustrated about his targets, which, okay, I'm inclined to believe. But then he said that the 49ers are going to ask George Kittle to take less money and try to squeeze him and keep him next year. These are all things Mike Silver said. Okay. Mike Silver said Mac Jones at 3.
Yep.
Mike Silver said that Trey Lance's arm has been arm fatigue, but he never missed a practice.
Mm-hmm.
Mike Silver has been brought here to do something that people criticize my friend, Grant Cohn, to do.
Yeah.
Drive clicks. You criticize one guy for one thing, but then you let that shit slide. Let me tell you something. Every single thing that Mike Silver said in that article is fucking bullshit. Are you kidding me, man? Like, are you kidding me? So now, hold up. So now, while this team has won 8 straight games, now, while you have no place to put controversy, now you want to put it into the fact that now George Kittle is upset about his targets, is upset about the way that he's getting the ball, is now stealing touchdowns. Kyle Shanahan talked about George Kittle moving into the direction of where there was a wide open field, side of the field. And you know what? He threw him the ball. Mm-hmm. How can you not put that on the fact that Purdy has more trust on George Kittle? Mike Silver, you have blocked me, so I don't care. You're not going to see this anyway, right? You've got to be fucking kidding me. You literally have to be fucking kidding me now with this. Like, what on earth are you trying to do to a team that right now is rolling, has won the most games in the NFL in a row, is rolling? Now, you want to throw this out there? Dude, if you want to cause division between the team, just fucking say that. Mike Silver, stop blocking everybody because everybody calls you on your bullshit. You are trash. Yeah. Wild trash. Dumb trash. This is the most ridiculous thing I have seen. And you know how I know it's ridiculous? Because it comes on the heels of an 8-game fucking winning streak.
Yeah.
And you are trying now to put something out there. Bro, you know what, man? Everybody talks about, well, you don't have access and you're not a credentialed. That's a credentialed media member. Yeah. That is a credentialed media member that is doing that bullshit. That is doing that absolute bullshit. So you know what? Your credentialed media members, they can kiss my ass. Go for it, Andrew.
Yeah, and as I said, I didn't read the article. I've been driving today, so I didn't see it or nothing. But the timing just it feels weird. It feels really weird to me. It's especially too because it's not like Kittle's coming off because George Kittle has had worse stretches where he hasn't seen the ball. And now we're talking about 2 consecutive games with 2 touchdowns. First time in his career, he's getting the ball more than he ever really has.
But it's a problem now, Andrew.
But
it's
now
a
it's
problem
a
now.
It just
that
feels.
Him getting the ball now is Kyle didn't want to ever get him the ball. Oh, it's the quarterbacks. Oh, the guy fucking wore a feels great baby shirt after they won in Seattle. And yet it's now about the quarterbacks. It's about the coach. Like, come on, bro.
Gammon, thank you for the donation. Be objective. Where does Kittle win? Most importantly, where does Kittle lose? In what context? I want to ask that. I apologize, Gammon. I do. In what context are you asking? Does he win or does he lose? We'll get back to this with that context. I just want to know what you mean before we dive into this question. But yeah, no, I guess to take it back to the point, George Kittle is good. He's very good. He has been very good. And it's just good to see, like it's always a conversation with him inside the offense of his targets and his touches and all that. Every time he has 2 games in a row where he has 3 touches, targets, whatever it may be, people tend to complain, but we're seeing him get the ball now. And we're seeing that, hey, that 18 year with Kittle, that wasn't a flash in the pan. That's still there. It's just whether you want to say the usage, whether you want to say the quarterback getting the ball to him type thing, obviously it's still there. So that's my thought on Kittle. Gammon, thank you again for the donation. As I said, we'll get to this if I get a little more context. I just want to make sure
Mike Silver's a cornball.
Right.
Is really where we want to get to this. Mike Silver is a cornball.
Okay. So Gavin says on the field in play. So where he's good, where he's bad. I mean, obviously, I think his best trait, kind of like Deebo Samuel, is his in space ability. Like, obviously, I think that's where he's at his best, and just physicality as well. Like, he runs through people. One of the biggest Jason, you're not going to like this. This is a random shot at somebody I know you love, but like, if you compare him to another great Niners tight end, Vernon Davis, and I love Vernon Davis, I love him.
Okay.
George Kittle's not afraid of the contact, where Vernon Davis, not so much.
That's not wrong.
Yeah, exactly. And like, also too, I'm going to dispel a rumor. I'm going to help your guy, Vernon Davis. Cam Chancellor never broke Vernon Davis. Vernon Davis just never liked contact in the first place, which is fine. If I played in the NFL, I would hate contact too.
That's the funny part. Is they're like, oh, Cam Chancellor killed him. He had like 13 touchdowns the next year. It's like, what's so?
Yeah, no, Cam Chancellor. My dad's biggest pet peeve with Vernon Davis was the amount of times he would have a one-on-one with a guy, and Davis would peel out of bounds. Like, why don't you just run through the guy? Where Kittle does run through the guy. So there you go. Is that fair?
Your father is 100% on point. Yes. Andrew Pasquini is 100% on point. I'm still listening.
In terms of the loss, his hands are a bit of a concern, but then again, like every Niners receiver, I have a bit of concerns with his hands. So there you go. I think the Niners dropped the ball too much. We saw it with Juwan Jennings, and I made that one of my losers, Juwan Jennings drop. Because that's the ball you got to catch, man. I know it's a little behind, it's a little low, but man, you got both hands on it. And then I understand the second effort to try and make the catch, but then you tip the ball up in the air. That to me, I mean, that was a humongous play in that situation. I know Jason just left. That's okay. I'm big now. I'm small again. And I know I'm transitioning to the Juwan Jennings play now. I think we're done with Kittle. I think that's fair. The Juwan Jennings play, I know in the grand scheme, it doesn't really hurt the team in the game, but in the situation, that was a big play. The Niners had a chance to go up 2 scores right before the half. Jennings drops the ball, tips it up, gets intercepted by the Commanders. Commanders tied up 7-7 at halftime. It's a significantly different game than a 2-possession game. So I guess my overarching issue on the Kittle point, on the Jennings play, is the Niners receivers tend to drop the ball. I think they're in the bottom 10 in the league in terms of drop percentage, which isn't great. So yeah, that's just kind of my general concern about Niners receivers is the drops.
Yeah, look, we can pick apart the things we don't like. When a team wins by 17, I feel like it goes by the wayside. It's not a problem until it's a problem.
Yes.
That's it. It's not a problem until it's a problem. I don't want to be negative. When you cover a team that has won 8 straight games,
yeah,
and they won the San Francisco 49ers point differential is plus 145. When you cover a team that has won this many games by this amount of points, it is hard to get upset about certain plays. Yeah. This is why, sure, you look at that and you say, hey, that can't happen in a close game. Good thing it's not a close game. Yeah. At this point, I am much more happy to discuss the San Francisco 49ers because of what they've done than what they haven't done. Because what they've done exceeds anything that they are lacking in at this point. That's it. And it just, look, nothing's perfect.
Yeah.
But this team is winning games at a clip that nobody else is. It's like, hey, man, nothing's perfect, but like, I'm good. I don't want to talk negative. I don't want to be negative at all.
Then allow me to transition to Brandon Ayuk is very good.
Yeah.
Is that positive?
Yes.
Brandon Ayuk is very good. He's still the Niners' best receiver. 5 receptions, 81 yards. He's their best route runner. He's their best receiver. Gold-blooded, bring up the problem in the secondary yet. Huff is starting to become a liability. We'll get to that when we get to the secondary. I don't know if you're new, Gold-blooded. Appreciate the comment, all that fun stuff. Still great photo, I guess.
No. You can't talk about Hufanga. You can't say anything about Hufanga. You can't say anything bad about his game because you are a hater, Andrew Pasquini. Because the same concerns that we voiced in the offseason are now starting to show themselves a little bit, and everybody else is starting to see, and it's okay. You know what? Okay. You're a hater, Andrew Pasquini, but let's go.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Got it.
Yeah, well, we'll get to the secondary once we get to that point.
That is a concern.
It's a bit of a concern, but we'll get there. So, Jason, good with receivers, running game. The running game. The offensive line, not even close to the same thing. The offensive line, I'm just going to give a not complete grade. I know 3 sacks. I know the run game wasn't great, but that's the best defensive line they're going to face the rest of the season, probably. That's a very good defensive line.
Well, hold up. How dare you disrespect Max Crosby, the best player in the world that's about to play against him next week?
My bad. Hand up. Hand up.
Yeah,
but I'm not going to
joke.
Yeah, I know. Yes, I know. Absolutely.
Not you.
I'm not necessarily concerned about the offensive line. It's just the Commanders are very good. Like, do we want to nitpick the 2 false starts McGlinchey took? No, I don't think we need to.
No, and I do want to give Jake Brendel props because as of right now, especially with Brock Purdy under, he has been incredible in every aspect of the game.
Mm-hmm.
Look, I think we've spoken about how much offensive line and quarterback play are hand in hand when it comes to sacks. Right now, it's like hand in glove. Like these guys are doing the best they can with each other. Yeah, I want to give Jake Brendel some love, man, because I feel like we talked about every single other lineman this entire time, but Brendel's been playing well. And I want to make sure that he gets his props. David Lombardi was the one who tweeted out his metrics, and they are very high. And he's a very smart guy. So,
all right. So I think that's all we got on the offensive line. As I said, we're not going to overreact to nothing. Commanders are very good. They have one of the best defensive lines in the league, so I'm not stressing on it. Let's go to the defense. And before we get to the defensive line, 17 plays, 84 yards. 10:48 off the clock, 0 points for the Commanders. That was their 3rd drive of the game.
The only team that leads the 49ers in time of possession is the Washington Commanders because they want to do the same exact thing. And it's just funny the parallels between these teams. Go ahead. Go for it, Pasquini.
We're at a point once again where I just run out of good things to say about the Niners defense, not because they're bad. It's just because we've repeated the same shit for weeks on weeks on weeks. But they have these subtle little reminders. How ridiculous is it? If I told you, Jason, 17 plays, 84 yards, 10 minutes off the clock, you'd probably say, yeah, that's a touchdown drive. That has to be a touchdown drive. There's no way it's not. But the Niners defense doesn't allow it. Yes, they're absolutely the definition of bend, don't break, because this is a Niners defense you can drive on. We've seen it plenty of times. But, and what I said, I think it was last week, actually, against Seattle, is the Niners are so good. Scott Broyles, that's a fantastic.
That's not a hot take.
I think that's a very good take.
That's not a hot take. That's a very good take. And the only way we will be able to disprove that take is by watching everyone else. Keep going. I'm sorry.
But I think the Commanders did expose something with their big plays and their deep shots. But I said this against the Seattle game while it was playing. To me, I think the worst thing you want to do against the 49ers defense is have a long drive where you're not getting chunk plays, because what is this Niners defense really good at is covering space. And when you're driving and driving and driving, and now you're getting to the 20-yard line, the 15-yard line, all you're doing is shrinking the space your offense has to operate against a Niners defense that excels with space. And I feel like that you have to beat the Niners with big plays, because if you get to the 5-yard line, you have 15 yards of room to move, and you have 11 Niners defenders who give no room for anybody at all, period. So I think the Commanders did show a little something with the big plays that they got. They did have a few big passing plays, but once they got too close to the end zone, it's almost wraps. It's almost wraps against this Niners. The closer you get to the end zone against this Niners defense, it's almost the more confident I feel in this Niners defense. It's really weird.
Yeah. And if you notice, Carson Wentz came in the game and they kind of scored pretty quickly. Mm-hmm. Like they hit on some quick plays, and that's what Kyle Shanahan was talking about. But I want to read Gammon's generous donation. Gammon, thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Gammon.
in reference to our offensive line, one in which both of you have been defensive about, and correctly so since the offseason. Team has been injured more than reported. Fan perspective here, why are we constantly in the dark? Constantly in the dark, I think, has to do more with Kyle Shanahan not wanting to give anything to anyone.
Yes.
While having to give what the NFL needs to avoid fines.
Yes.
So I had no idea that, Mike McGlinchey's been playing with 2 broken ribs, which, you know what, guys? Maybe that has a problem. Then maybe that's an issue, right now.
Tough son of a bitch too, man.
Right.
Love him.
But in terms of this answer, why are we constantly in the dark is because coach, front office, those guys, they think it's best to hold things closer to the vest. And the same thing with offseason. So I don't say that the 49ers don't leak, because there's many things that have leaked before that have come right out and been like outright true. But they try to keep as many things as close to the chest and the vest as they can. Andrew, what do you think?
I think you said it absolutely right. I mean, he absolutely does keep things close to himself, but it's by design. He only tells you what he needs to tell you, and outside of that, it is what it is. I mean, we had another classic Kyle Shanahan quote today. I'm trying to find it really quick. Kyle Matson tweeted out when Kyle Shanahan was asked about the future of the 49ers quarterback situation, quote, "I don't even know what year it is after the season's over." We had another one of those Kyle Shanahan. He doesn't like to give anything out. So if he doesn't have to give it out, he's not going to give it out. And that's the coach he is. So thank you very much, Gammon, for the donation. We really appreciate it. Okay, Jason, I got my overarching defensive thoughts done. So let's get to the defensive line now.
Go for it.
I see a lot of people saying that they won't take the NFL awards seriously if Kyle Shanahan doesn't win Coach of the Year. And I'm not at that point. I still think it's Dan Campbell until it's not. And I think there's a case for Steve Wilkes as well, because what he's been doing in Carolina since he's taken over.
And Carolina has a chance to still win this division.
However, I think the one that people should get mad about is if Nick Bosa doesn't win Defensive Player of the Year, what are we even doing? Nick Bosa is your Defensive Player of the Year, 18 and a half sacks on the season, 2 more against the Commanders. He's 4 away. He's 4 away from tying Michael Strahan, or 5, something like that. And if there's any defensive player in the NFL who get 5 sacks in 2 games, it is St. Nicholas, insert middle name here, Bosa.
Cook.
So I just don't know what else you can say, man. He's got to be the Defensive Player of the Year, and it is what it is.
Cook, look, man. We're doing our best to be objective. I feel if we are doing our best to be objective, then objectively,
yes,
Nick Bosa is the best defensive player in football, and Micah Parsons, who is an incredibly gifted football player, someone who is very great, not good, very great at the game of football. I can say both things. Nick Bosa is the clear Defensive Player of the Year. And I don't care about Pro Bowls. I don't care about Coach of the Year. My coach is my coach, and he's not going anywhere. It don't matter, man. If my coach wins the Super Bowl but loses Coach of the Year, kiss my ass. I don't care.
I don't care about Coach of the Year.
Defensive Player of the Year, it's clearly Nicholas J. Bosa. I don't know where I got the J from.
I know where you got the J from, Jason. You're not as slick as you
it's
think.
not Nicholas J. It's Nicholas Joseph Bosa. If you want to really get
is that I'm googling it now. Is it
no,
Joseph?
no, it's not.
It is Nicholas John Bosa.
John Bosa, close enough. Boom. Look, it's Nicholas John Bosa, and I think it's hard to dispute otherwise unless you're completely biased or either not watching the games. I mean, it is his 3rd year, and he is ascending every single year. Every year. And I still think there's one more gear for this young man. That's the crazy part. But Emmanuel Acho thinks that he doesn't have enough effort. Emmanuel Acho also thinks that Tua Tagovailoa is better than Justin Herbert.
And Justin Herbert's a social media quarterback.
And Justin Herbert,
whatever that. I still don't know what that's supposed to mean.
He's also thrown 2 interceptions tonight against the Indianapolis Colts. That game is gross right now at this point. But no matter what, Justin Herbert's better than Tua Tagovailoa. But
yes, I think that's obvious.
Yeah, I think that's the last thing that we should talk about is Nick Bosa needs to win DPOY, and I think it's not even particularly close.
It's not even. I also want to shout out Eric Armstead as well. 7 pressures, 6 hurries against the Commanders. And Jordan Willis, I mean, it was really a big first quarter for Jordan Willis. He absolutely cooked in the first quarter. So I want to make sure we mention his name as well because he had a very good game, especially early. Niners linebackers. I am pulling up the stats. That's why I repeated that 7 times. Fred Warner, 13 tackles. Dre Greenlaw, 7. Nothing really big. Gammon, thank you for the donation. Can we take this one later? We'll pivot. We'll take this one later. Fred Warner, 13 tackles. Dre Greenlaw, 7. I mean, it felt like an okay game for the Niners linebackers, but that's really only because they didn't do anything super, super spectacular like they've done the previous weeks. Scott, anyone sort of kind of maybe hope they snub Bosa and he goes super? Yeah, that's fair too. I like that idea. Keith Murphy, thank you for the donation again. The Broncos are going through hell right now. We're going to touch on that here in a minute. Haven't made the playoffs 5-6 years. They won the Super Bowl. Gladly trade 5 years of playoff life for 1 chip. Thoughts? I gladly trade 5 years of playoff life for 1 chip.
Yeah, he's right. Keith is right. And we'll talk about that later. I was on Croc's show and we had a discussion about this, about would you give 1 Super Bowl win for 5 years? Well, no, Croc made it ridiculous. And he said 10 years. And I'm like, why does this genie want 10 years of your life? Whoever it is that is telling you that they'll give you this
Got
Super Bowl.
it.
Yeah, like, so you win the bowl, but you got 5 years of not competing. If you want to save that for the end, we can. I have strong thoughts about that. I will say thank you for the donation. We're gonna get back to that. I promise.
We got a lot of we'll get back to later comments. We're trying to stay straight. No, but yeah, as I said, the Niners linebackers doesn't feel like they really stood out this game, but that's only because neither of them had like that big play that stood out. Statistically, solid game, 20 tackles between the two. That's all I got on them as well.
This is what Ariel got.
Sure, I can probably do that for a little bit if you can.
For a little bit, just a little bit. It don't matter. I don't want to watch this Monday Night Football game because too many of my fantasy championships that are on the line here, and it's like a 0-0 game. I need Austin Eckler to have 67 points. That's probably not going to happen. Yeah, that's probably not going to happen right now. So yeah, I'm with it.
I don't need that because DeAndre Hopkins got me 1.4 points last night, and I'm holding on by the skin of my teeth.
Hey, look, Andrew.
However, Kittle and Kelsey got me 47 combined last night.
Kittle and Kelsey. What about the double tight ends? I want to say this. Jerick McKinnon has pushed me into the fantasy championships again in my dynasty league. Let's take this.
Christian Nunez, thank you for the donation. Eric Armstead moved to the defensive tackle, was game changing for this defense. A man who doesn't put up fancy stats but helps. Christian, just 100%. 100% right. Helps his other linemen get to the quarterback. Also, with Purdy being so cheap, we get a very solid tackle next year to solidify. Yeah. I think that's absolutely right.
I think he's not only right with the whole. First of all, thank you for your generosity. First of all,
yes.
But yes, absolutely. It's a lot of people look at the box score. I told you, friends don't listen to friends when they talk about Eric Armstead's box score without watching the games and understanding his impact. And I 100% agree with you. Eric Armstead is the reason that things start to move differently. And now you are looking at a defensive line that is getting stronger. Javon Kinlaw played this past week, and he walked out healthy. You are only going to see him get more ramped up. But the Purdy being so cheap thing, my God, man. The cheat code is having a quarterback who costs you nothing and then being able to build around that team. That is a cheat code because eventually that quarterback is going to want money, rightfully so. You've seen it. Many teams have done it. I mean, I don't want you to say it. All right. I don't want you to get mad, but Seattle kind of did it the right way. They built around Russell Wilson. They put everybody around him. They won a bowl.
Yeah.
And you didn't have to pay him until later on down the line. Now, did it lead to other bowls? I don't know, but I think that's the best strategy. Shout out to Christian, man. Thank you for your generosity. Happy holidays to you and your family. We got more. Hold up.
I love this. I love this so much. Hey, Luis H. Thank you for the donation. Hope Kittle will break Shanahan 1 game yards record. He's been throwing a little shade towards Purdy, giving Kyle 100% of the credit.
Shannon's.
Oh, Shannon's. I thought it was Shanahan. Shannon's.
Yeah.
Sharps. I read that as Shanahan.
Yeah.
Shannon Sharp. Yes, because that absolutely is a thing we talked about on Friday, the game he had against the Broncos a couple of years ago. But I mean, I don't think it's a little shade towards Purdy giving Kyle so much credit because, I mean, Purdy does deserve credit because it's not like Shanahan's doing anything different. All these receivers are wide open still. So there's that. Absolutely. Robert Davis, thank you again for the donation. Healthy Kinlaw could be the catalyst. I didn't notice him on Sunday. I didn't notice him much. Did he even get a snap? I haven't looked at the snap counts yet.
13, 16.
I see 16 PFF. Might be different websites.
16.
So hey, if he can come back too, Gammon Air Crocker guest appearance soon. We've had him on before.
No. Croc, if you're watching, let me look at you right in your face because I talked to you like on the phone, and during text messages. You too Hollywood to come, still mess with me. It was a while where you invited me back to your show. You too Hollywood. Croc is too big. Croc's too big. I texted him the other day. I was like, hey, you got time for me? You gonna come? He's like, I'm driving. Nah. Croc, you know exactly what I'm talking about, bro. I'm looking right at you in the camera.
Croc, when he was Sprint Red Option Podcast, when we first started this, is like red and yellow Hulk Hogan, and now he's NWO. Black and white Hulk Hogan, Hollywood Hulk Hogan. Yeah, he's spray painting his world heavyweight title belt now, like already NWO. Keith, thank you again for the donation. I've traded 10 years. It's almost been 30 since 94. We will absolutely get to that question because I think it's a yes. But
all right, no. All right, so I think we're done. Look, like in terms of the secondary.
We have secondary there. Okay, there we go. You got it.
In terms of the secondary, look, we have been very much vocal about our concerns with Talanoa Hufanga. And he's not the only one that is deserving of blame in this game. Mm-hmm. But this is what we were nervous about, is over-aggressiveness, not playing your spots at times, touchdowns being allowed because of it. Now, look, Hufanga has offset all of those things with his interceptions, with his big plays, with his playing with his hair on fire. But he still has much to improve on. So when people come to me and they're like, you need to apologize. What am I apologizing for? What exactly am I apologizing for when literally all the things I was concerned about are still rearing its ugly head and we're getting towards the end of the year? Talanoa Hufanga is a difference maker, 100%. He has played better than I thought he ever would. But do not come and ask me about apologies when the man is still making the same errors I was concerned about. Andrew, I'm going to stop because people are going to say I'm being extra. Go for it.
Yeah, and I'll touch on it really quick. It's all fun and games when he is forcing turnovers and making interceptions because that's what he's there to do. But there's still some coverage issues. He allowed 2 touchdowns. The one in the red zone off the top of my head.
Stop adding me on Twitter. Stop adding me on Twitter. So don't add me on Twitter when he has an interception and then you not at me when he fucking gives up a touchdown. Like, I want Hufanga to get better. Like, that's the best part about all this.
He has it in him. If he can tighten up the pass coverage and the mistakes, we're talking best safety in the NFL. But as long as those errors continue to rear their head, it is a concern. We're not saying that this
adding me on Twitter about that shit, bro. Stop, everyone, every single person. Stop adding me about that shit. Until he cleans up the shit that I was worried about, stop adding me about that shit. I am happy that he's there. He has made incredible plays. He has been somebody who's a difference maker. But stop adding me about that shit when he gives up touchdowns. Please, man, please.
So I'll spin it back to a little bit more positive. I know people were concerned about the secondary. I don't know if you can find a better trio of receivers than Terry McLaurin, Curtis Samuel, and Jahan Dotson. I think they were always going to give the Niners some issues because there are three very talented wide receivers. And if they can get a good quarterback there, the Commanders are cooking. The Commanders are absolutely cooking with that offense. So, yes, it was a concern to see how well Washington played against that secondary. I'm going to say it's more of a blip because the secondary has been a very large reason this defense has been successful. I'm not going to trip over one game on it. That's my stance on the secondary. I feel fine about the secondary. Yes, are the Talanoa Hufanga issues rearing their head? Yes. But if he can tighten it up a little bit,
but
he's feeling good.
Tackles too. He's blowing tackles too, man. He leads the secondary in missed tackles. Look, and you know what? Let me spin it positively.
Yes.
That results in him playing as fast as he does.
Yes.
Like that's a guy who sees it happen and moves as fast as he does. And sometimes you face a better athlete than you on the other side. Like that, like the NFL, those guys on the other side get paid the same way that you do.
The 49ers have two of those guys, right? They have Hufanga and they have Greenlaw. When they are very aggressive, they have a very good sense for the ball. But sometimes it does come and bite them in the ass and it creates mistakes. It's exciting when it works. It's very loud when it doesn't. And that's kind of the thing. You want a little bit more consistency from those two players, but you never want them to stop playing with their hair on fire.
No,
what makes them as good as they are.
That's the thing is all the things we said in the offseason about Hufanga, you have to play with anticipation because you don't have enough top speed to get back on those ends. You have to understand what they're trying to run at you. You have to understand what they're trying to do to you on film. You have to understand all of those things. And it wasn't impossible for Hufanga to do that. Hufanga's had an incredible season. He's a Pro Bowler. God damn it. Like, he's a damn Pro Bowler.
And he's earned it. He's earned it.
Yeah, and I don't care what anybody says about voting. He deserves all of that shit. He's played so well. But he plays a little too fast. He misses tackles. He still is out of position in the same ways that we asked you not to be out of position in those places. Say whatever you want about Jaquiski Tartt. Sure, he doesn't take the ball away in that clip, but he doesn't give up that on the back end.
Yeah.
So maybe I overvalued the safety of that without understanding what could be with Hufanga and the interceptions and the turnovers. So I will take the L on that. But other than that, the same things that we've been asking him to be better at, he's cleaned up a bit, but it's still there. It's still there. It is still there. And I don't want to be negative. This team is too good right now. They are playing too well. Hufanga has been great. I'm not trying to tell you this is some like fatal flaw.
Yeah.
But I have had too many people. You need to apologize. What am I apologizing for? What exactly am I apologizing for? So, yeah.
Hey, constructive criticism here on the Sprint Right Option podcast. You take the negatives, you fit it with some positive. We love it. Hey, Jason, we're going to take these starred questions in. We'll take it in After Dark. You want to take it in After Dark really quick?
Or you want to do 3 stars and then that?
Yeah, we'll get the 3 stars and then we'll go straight to After Dark because we're already at an hour. So for the audio portion, we'll keep it a little shorter. 3 stars. I'm going to continue running Brock Purdy until he tells me I can't. 15 for 22. He's my 3rd star. Yes, 2 touchdowns and interception. He got beat up a little bit. 3 sacks, a lot of pressure in his face, and he still shines. So I'm going to go Brock Purdy, my number 3 star.
Jimmy Ward. Stop playing with my boy and make sure you bring him back, man. Make sure you bring him back for whatever it is that he wants. You have asked this man to be a slot corner, then a safety, then a slot corner for the entire time that he has been here. He has sacrificed his career year, his contract year. He took less money to stay with the 49ers smartly than to be a Raider. Jimmy Ward is my number 3 star. Jimmy Ward. Stop playing with my boy.
Love Jimmy Ward. He's an elite safety and he is an elite slot corner. We love to see it. My number 2 star for one play and one play only. Oh, no, I can't. No, George Kittle. George Kittle's my number 2 star. I was going to say Ray McLeod, but I forgot George Kittle had a more complete game. 6 receptions, 120 yards, 2 touchdowns. He's good. I'm going to make Ray McLeod my honorable mention because I forgot George Kittle had such a good game.
Well, my second star, Brandon Ayuk, 5 for 81, continues to just be this guy that is just there, right? Like the 49ers are so deep with playmakers that Brandon Ayuk can have 5 for 81 and everybody can look at that like it's a whatever game. Brandon Ayuk is my number 2 star. Stop playing with my boy. He's the best wide receiver on his team. Let that man cook. Make sure, John Lynch, I know Kyle Shanahan, you're watching. Buy Brandon Ayuk stocks. Buy. Make sure you pay that man before it happens. Yeah, Brandon Ayuk. I think we got the same first star.
Yeah, 3, 2, 1. Is it
Nicholas
Bosa? John Bosa? Yes, it is.
Nicholas John Bosa.
You ready for this very in-depth analysis on the Sprint Right Option podcast? Nick Bosa is my number 1 star because he's very good. Jason, your thoughts?
Nicholas Bosa is my first star because he's very good, and not only is he very good, he's very good looking. I don't want to put this out there, but like it's just like, my God, man, I watched this guy come out with his shirt,
choking with those cats,
and it's like, I've got a woman who walks in the room and she's like, "Who is that?" And it's like, damn, that's how you know. Like that is a real man right there.
Gammon, thank you for the donation. I wish I was a Pro Bowler in my own job since I am not. It helps my self-esteem to complain about house deficiencies.
It's okay, Gammon.
Love it.
Nick, Talanoa Fungus deficiencies still have good things going for them, and he's been playing very well this year. That's why he's a Pro Bowler, and he deserves it. He is 100% deserving of being a Pro Bowler this year.
Hey, Tarvarius, I saw you asking what the heck is After Dark. Hang out after the post-show credits, and you'll find out. Jason Aponte, we're going to get to After Dark since we're at an hour, so we're going to kill the podcast here. We'll be on for After Dark, so stick around for the after post credits because we'll still be here. Show won't be over. We'll hang out. We'll talk about whatever you guys want to talk about. Jason Aponte, as always.
Let's go Niners, and stop rooting for Dan Snyder-owned teams because Washington sucks.
Ray and Nori, I'm sorry I ever doubted you, my guy.
There you go. Welcome, everybody.
We are live.
My name is Jason Aponte.
I am Andrew Pasquini.
We're working. That's it. We're working over here. That's it. Let's go Niners.
Let's go Niners. Sprint Right Option podcast. Hello. Welcome to After Dark. If you're new here, if you've never done After Dark, this is where Jason and I just kind of hang out. We talk about whatever we really want to talk about. It doesn't have to be 49ers. It doesn't have to be anything. You guys can run the conversation. And whatever you guys really want to talk about, we'll talk about. Jason, I see we got a couple starred comments, so let's get to those first because I felt like they're what we need to start with since they were comments. So, Gavin, off topic, do you gentlemen work with a professional in the digital marketing industry? Why or why not? We do not, because this, to be honest, I don't think this podcast is at a point where we can pay people. I think that's a fair thing, right?
Yeah, I mean,
yeah.
I mean, cool. Look, hold on, Andrew. When you do a podcast with Jason Aponte, who is so off the cuff, angry, yelling at people all the time, I doubt that there's many digital marketing places that want to just like jump on and just say, you know what, I need to be on board with that.
Yeah. So yeah, no, it's just Jason Aponte is the marketing. We advertise Spicy Aponte for that reason, but yeah, this podcast just isn't quite at the point to pay people and do outside. Hey, one day, if Jason and I ever have the conversation of paying people to do the marketing for the Sprint Right Option podcast, that's how I know we've really, really made it, because we're talking about paying people. That'd be pretty electric.
Yeah.
So there you go. Damn it. Thank you so much for the donation. Hey, can we get that other one as well? I forget what it is.
Oh, the second one is...
Oh, yes, this question. Keith Murphy, the Broncos are going through hell right now. Still haven't made the playoffs in 5 to 6 years since they won the Super Bowl. I'd gladly trade 5 years of playoff life for one chip. Thoughts? I would absolutely do it. I mean, do you think – I know we meme the Rams fan, the Ramily on this podcast quite a bit, but I mean, if we ask Jim Everett, our marketing pro, hey, is this year worth the Super Bowl last year? I think both of them would say yes. The one Super Bowl is absolutely worth it.
The thing is this.
Okay.
Look, I've had this discussion on Croc Show.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. There's a world where Andy Reid and Patrick Mahomes end their careers with one Super Bowl victory. One. Both of them. Andy Reid could retire tomorrow, and Patrick Mahomes could play a bunch of years, and he's considered GOAT, but he wins one. There are 8 Super Bowl head coaches right now active. Andy Reid, Bill Belichick, Doug Peterson, Mike McCarthy. God Christ, help me. Mike Tomlin, John Harbaugh, Pete Carroll. And we're missing one more. The point is this.
Did we say Belichick?
Yeah, I did. You are discrediting how hard it is to win a Super Bowl, right? You are discrediting the fact that 31 teams walk home without a bowl. So, when you discuss teams, Mike McCarthy won a Super Bowl. He's never going to fucking sniff another one ever in his life. And he beat Mike Tomlin. And I don't think there's anyone in this right here.
On McVay.
Chat. McVay. Whatever. Fuck McVay. This chat. There's nobody in this chat that would ever confuse Mike McCarthy for being a better coach than Mike Tomlin.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Sometimes you look, the Cowboys are coming for me. The fucking Jaguars are coming for you. Don't even start. Don't even start, dog. You know for a fact you are not built like this. You are not built like that. The Jaguars, you have given up 100 points in the last 3 weeks. The 49ers haven't given up a fucking 100 points in like 8 straight weeks.
I forgot to mention.
Don't even bring this shit up. Y'all are not like that. Y'all are soft. Mike McCarthy still coaches you. Dak Prescott is still trash. You are not like that. Do not even try that shit, man. Please. Look, I understand you're here. And I love the fact that you're here because I love the fact that he continues to come back, like, even when they lose. Like, when they lose, he'll come back and be like, yo, y'all were right. Like, I give him 100% of the respect. But goddamn, man, there is not a person on this earth that is scared of the fucking Dallas Cowboys right now, bro. Are you kidding me, man? Gardner Minshew almost beat you. You sound insane now at this point, my guy. The fucking Texans scored 38, whatever it was. The Jaguars scored whatever it is. That defense that y'all thought y'all had, and I don't want to hear about injuries because I have a Cowboys fan who continues to tell me about injuries. We are on week 16. Nobody's 100%. If the 49ers had Emmanuel Mosley and Jason Verrett and this, stop. Just admit you ain't built like that. Just admit you ain't real. And Dallas is not real. They're not real. I'm sorry, man. Like, and I like that you continue to, I like that you continue to come here. I like that. I like that.
Look at this car. We can go blow it. Don't matter.
T.Y. Hilton is not moving the needle, my guy. T.Y. Hilton, CeeDee Lamb, Michael Gallup. Y'all not built like that. And nobody believes that y'all are real. Like, nobody believes that y'all are real.
Until Mike McCarthy is not the head coach there, I'm not buying the Cowboys. If you get a better head coach,
wait till Sean Payton comes back next year. Then I'll be scared. Yeah, Sean Payton is going to be the coach next year.
Gammon, thank you for the donation. I will be going to school for digital marketing. I want to do your marketing for free so I can add it to my portfolio. We'll talk about that. Beautiful. Hey, message me. We can talk about that down the road. I will be retired from the Army with nothing else to do. Appreciate the offer. We could definitely talk about it when you get that, and that'd be electric if we can. Jason, I forgot to mention this on the podcast, actually. Do you consider 20 points to be a lot if your defense allows 20 points?
Because I don't. Is a lot. It only is a lot if you can't score 21.
Exactly. So the 49ers defense, the 20 points they allowed to the Commanders are the most they've allowed in a game since the Chiefs game. And that
I didn't miss McVay, Keith. I was like
intentionally forgot him out.
Yeah, like I'm leaving him out because I don't want to. Well, you know what? All right, let's spin it a different way. McVay won one and lost one. Okay. Mm-hmm. Andy Reid's won one and lost one. Mike Tomlin's lost one and won one. Bill Belichick's won whatever, how many? 6 and lost 2. And he lost 2. Like again, the Kyle Shanahan thing with the Super Bowls is overblown at this point. Like you just you got to get away from that shit. Like at this point.
Yeah. Kai, thank you. Appreciate the show you do. I'll show.
No.
We appreciate you, Kai.
You're the man. Come back. No, he's the man. No, he's the man. He's the man.
He absolutely. Oh no, he absolutely is. Yeah, he understands that Jason can get spicy. I get spicy.
No, but he's the man. No. Because he was here last year when we were doing our shows before the Dallas show. And look, he roots for his team. I love that. But he also came back and said, "Hey, y'all were right." Like I love that. Like no, he's legit. He deserves a lot of respect because there are lesser fans that pop more shit and they don't ever pull back up. So I respect him one way or another.
Absolutely. Yeah, we love you, Kai. Thank you very much. Shot my shot. Thanks for now. Hey, absolutely. Just reach out.
Yeah, man, you must reach out. How are we going to reject that? How are we going to reject that?
How are we going to reject that? Jason, I kind of on the topic of the Cowboys a little bit, and kind of something I wanted to talk about. I think there's
so Belichick's lost 3 too. Also,
Belichick's lost 3. Yes, I think there's 4 teams in the NFL that are going to win the Super Bowl. There's one of 4.
Okay,
it's the Eagles, the Niners, the Bills, or the Chiefs.
And the Chiefs.
Yeah. And that's nothing against the Cowboys. They're fine. They're just not one of the top tier teams. I think the Super Bowl is coming out of Philly, Buffalo, Kansas City, or Santa Clara, and that's just what it is. I think you agree. I think that's the conversation right there.
Yeah. 100%.
There you go. I like 100%. That. I don't know, man. I'm so confident in the Niners offense. It's unbelievable what Kyle Shanahan has done with Brock Purdy, and I don't think we need to say that too much more because we've said it so many times. It's true. He's so good, and I get why people talk about him being the guaranteed coach of the year. I think if that's how it was, then yeah, absolutely. Just they tend to pick teams with no expectations who did better than with the expectations. I think that's usually what it is.
Andrew,
Kyle Shanahan's that guy though, and we've been saying it since day one.
Andrew, there was a stat on Amazon on Thursday night, the week before.
Yes,
12% of NFL teams that have had to use their third string quarterback have won a playoff spot. Well, guess what? Up those rankings and change that shit because the San Francisco 49ers are here to change that narrative. And again, this all goes back to #OnlyShans, I wanted Ken Dorsey to replace Kyle Shanahan, I want Sean Payton to replace Kyle Shanahan. Wow, Sean Payton has only won 1 Super Bowl the entire time that he had Drew fucking Brees. Stop being a fucking moron. Like it's just funny to me that people have forgotten what it means to win Super Bowls, how much luck has to do with it. Like it's so funny to me. It's like I don't understand it. I don't want Sean Payton. Sean Payton. Why would I want Sean Payton? Because Sean Payton had Drew Brees, and he won 1 bowl. On an onside kick. Why? Why would I want Sean Payton? Why would I want Ken Dorsey, who can't even fucking finish off the Miami Dolphins in 1 game? Like, why would I want these guys? I'm tired of it, guys. I'm tired of it. You can call it dick riding all you want. You can call it me being a shill for the... You can call it whatever you want. What I want to call it is this. A coach that has been here for a certain amount of times, every time he's made the playoffs, his team has at least made the NFC Championship. Sounds like a guy that you argue about all the time with Kyle Shanahan. Sounds like a guy that you argue about all the time with Kyle Shanahan. Sounds like a guy that doesn't even coach in the NFL anymore. Andrew Pasquini, I'll pass it to you since it's after dark. We're cooking.
I want to get to Paul's comment here because you mentioned Kyle doing what he's doing with the third string quarterback and he's doing the 49ers third string quarterback is top 15 quarterback in the NFL. Maybe a little early for that, Paul. I like the thought, but
in metrics, he's not wrong.
He's not wrong, but Are we watching? Like, I know people are probably on a second screen right now with the Colts game on Monday Night Football. The Colts have started Nick Foles, or excuse me, the Colts started Nick Foles today. The Colts have started Matt Ryan and Sam Ellinger this season, which makes Nick Foles their third string quarterback. So why don't we look and see how the Colts third string quarterback is doing right now, huh? 9 for 16, 65 yards, 0 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. That's what Brock Purdy can be doing right now. Absolutely. Third string quarterback, Mr. Irrelevant. Nobody would look at him any less if he was that. But he's not. He has been keeping the Niners in games. That is because of Kyle J. Shanahan. That's the middle name. We're just what's Kyle's middle name now? We just go in middle name podcast now. Kyle Shanahan middle name. Kyle Michael Shanahan. There you go. Kyle Michael Shanahan. It's because of Kyle Michael Shanahan, man. And so I don't know, man. Don't talk about our coach like that anymore, man. Because he's a top 5 coach and he's a Super Bowl ring away. Because you see what's going on in New England with Bill Belichick and Mac Jones and how that's going. I really think if Shanahan can get a ring, we're talking about the best coach in the McCorkle. Sorry, McCorkle.
No, they should start Bailey Zappi. If I was the honest Patriots fan.
Yeah. Sup, fellas? Honest opinion. Do you go back to man against all the big hitters and trusting your front four with Javon Kinlaw? And I'm assuming EA's Eric Armstead. That would be AA if that's Eric Armstead. Secondary needs help.
No, the secondary doesn't need help. They just need to be more disciplined.
Mm-hmm.
But if it's here's the thing. If it costs them 1 touchdown and they only give up 7 points, the 49ers should score more points than that. And I think that's where we should be at. Look, we had a long discussion. Talanoa Hufanga has played way farther past our expectations, 100%. But the same concerns we had are there. So stop asking me to apologize for the concerns that I had. But at the same time, the defense is doing too much right now for you to be concerned about it. I mean, they're first in almost every single metric. They are first in running the ball, against all those things. So and here's where my trust lies, Richard. G Personal Touch Detailing, and you're a big, you're a big supporter. I appreciate you. It's DeMeco. It's always DeMeco, man. DeMeco's not leaving this year. He'll leave next year. But this year, as long as his defense is under DeMeco, I'm good. I feel good. I feel great. I feel great against anybody. You know what? Even if there's stretches early on in the game where shit don't work, he's adjusting. If not, he's going to make the adjustments. This defense has the personnel and everything as well, too. They have studs at every single level. This is a special defense, man. So
very special defense. Jason, it's after dark. I want to, real quick, maybe this could be our last topic. I want to throw out a take for the first time on the Sprint Right Option podcast.
Oh, here we go.
One that I've texted you before. I haven't felt comfortable using it yet. And there's 208 people watching us right now, and we love you all. If this is a bad take, I need the 208 of you to promise that we're not going to release this take from Andrew, because this is a practice. This is me throwing this take out there. There's a difference between wants and needs, right, Jason? I think that's well established. There's a difference between wants and needs. I want Deebo Samuel to come back. Do the 49ers offense need him to come back?
They don't need it, but
it'd be nice.
Yeah, I mean, all right.
No, and remember, this is me practicing this take, guys. Don't take this seriously unless you like the take, then take it seriously. This is just me floating it out there.
Look, right now, Christian McCaffrey is the reason that this offense has hummed for the last 8 years, right? The last 8 years, 8 weeks. Christian McCaffrey,
8 years, man, it's all the same at this
point. All the same shit. Since Christian McCaffrey has been fully implemented into this offense, the 49ers haven't lost. Regardless of the quarterback. Don't matter. Brock Purdy, Garoppolo, don't matter. But come on, man. Can you imagine the stress that it would put on offenses
Yes.
to know that Deebo Samuel's there, George Kittle's there, Brandon Ayuk's there, Christian McCaffrey's there. You can even run it where you've got all of those guys on the field, and Ty Davis Price is ready to cook your ass with a 3-yard run.
Hey,
like,
whoa, wait a second. Where's Tevin Coleman, my guy?
I mean, Tevin Coleman is getting fried right now and not playing, but this is my thing. Adding the best offensive weapon that you've had since last year, like, come on, it's got to be that move.
Yeah, and that's why I want. That's why I'm kind of afraid to throw this take out there in official. Because remember, this is After Dark unofficial takes, because I like it's such an internet sensation to be like, oh, I'd rather have for basketball argument, I'd rather have Steph over LeBron. Oh, so you're saying LeBron sucks? No, that's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying I'd rather have one player over the other. And obviously, the Niners offense is better with Deebo Samuel. I think it's better with as many weapons as you can get. But in terms of running back, Christian McCaffrey is a better running back. In terms of receiving, Brandon Ayuk's a better receiver. We saw what Ray McCloud. I'm not saying Ray McCloud in any way is as good as Deebo Samuel. Harold Murillo, thank you. Tevin Coleman will play in the playoffs. We love that thought. I'm not saying Ray McCloud can do what Deebo Samuel can do, but he has the speed to do the end-around stuff that Deebo Samuel does so well. Obviously, I want Deebo Samuel to return healthy because he's a very good player. It's just this Niners offense does not need him, and I think that's a good thing to say. I think that's a good thing to say, right? Because how many teams? If I take away Tyreek Hill from the Miami Dolphins, that's a totally different offense, right? If you take away, I mean. If you look at the Green Bay Packers, how different do they look without Devontae? How many teams can you take away one of their best offensive players and say, like, oh, yeah, no biggie?
But, Andrew, I'll say this. If Christian McCaffrey was here, you would need Deebo Samuel. And conversely.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Like, you need, like, Christian McCaffrey makes this conversation easier. Yes.
Right. And conversely, if, God forbid, something happened to Christian McCaffrey.
Yes.
Now you need Deebo.
Yes, so and that's absolutely fair.
So, like, my thing is, this team has become so loaded that now they can insulate themselves. Not only have they insulated themselves at quarterback, they've insulated themselves at every position that is necessary to make this offense function right now. Because no matter what you think about Brock Purdy's taking more shots down the field, all that stuff.
Yes, he is.
Defenses are not, and Kyle Shanahan talked about this yesterday. So don't make this seem like I'm making this up. Defenses aren't playing the 49ers any differently. They're not playing them any differently. They're not saying, oh shit, Brock Purdy's going over the top of our head. No, they're playing the 49ers the same way. Christian McCaffrey needs Deebo Samuel in the same way that Deebo Samuel needs Christian McCaffrey in case one of those guys go down. And that's why you make that trade. That's it.
I love Keith's comment. That's the exact point I want to make.
Well, hold on.
Deebo was we'll get to Gammon here in a second. Keith's comment here. Deebo was our offensive last year. I will say it's not quite the same situation this year.
That's it.
I think that's the best point you can
100%.
make. So that's my thing.
That's why he got paid. Got paid.
Once again, this is a practice take, guys. I'm throwing it out there just to get the conversation started. Playoffs Deebo is needed. 49ers are highly ranked, not for their ability to challenge you vertically, their ability to press you. Exactly. Like as I said, I think needed is a strong word. You would prefer to have Deebo out there. Needed, I think that's a little different. And then Gammon, thank you. Again, answers locked in. CMC and Deebo's duality and health insurance. Service. Yeah. I think that's exactly the right point. As I said, I just wanted to throw it out there because it's something that's been on my mind for weeks. I'm a coward and didn't want to throw it out there because I didn't want people to misconstrue what I'm saying. Yes.
That's why when we have talked about it in our group chats with us, Deebo got injured and everybody's like, fuck. I'm like, or many people were like, Christian McCaffrey got it. Like he's got it.
That's my point. Again, like I don't want to ever downplay an injury.
No.
But because of Christian McCaffrey, the Deebo Samuel injury is not as devastating as it would have been.
Yeah.
So that's kind of where this comes from. I just wanted to throw it out there because I do think it's an interesting conversation point.
Andrew,
And
right.
maybe like the quarterback conversation we're going to have in March about Purdy versus Lance, because I'm really looking forward to that. It could be a real March conversation. Well, that looking forward to that was a sarcastic one, Jason.
Yeah, I'm not looking forward to it, but it is a conversation that's going to have to happen.
All right, Jason, I got one last topic I want to throw out there, and then we can go. I'll let you go. The greatest moment in NFL history happened Sunday.
Oh, yes, it did. Go for
Patrick
it.
Starr.
Cook. Hold on. Real quick. Before. Come on.
Receiver.
Running back.
There you go.
No. But I think this is it. This discussion is tied to draft capital.
Yes.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. So you draft wide receivers high, but you don't draft running backs normally high, right? Like, and I think positional value doesn't mean draft capital. So while you say wide receiver, I think it's running back, because there are people that draft running backs over and over early on and use them and then drown them into the ground.
Yeah.
And wide receivers have longer shelf life. That's the way I'm going to put it, Andrew. And then we'll get to your thing.
Yeah, to me, I just think with where the NFL is, I mean, so Jordan Elliott and I, we were very much a couple of years ago in on the like, hey, running back, don't pay him type deal. But seeing what
pay them. But don't pay them. Don't pay them.
I get,
but draft them. Them, but don't pay them and let someone else pay them.
But at the same time, though, seeing how Christian McCaffrey has changed the Snyder's offense at the same time, it's pretty electric to see how good a good running back can be in this system. And I guess that's where I'll leave it. I just think in 2022, receiver is such an important position.
But Gammon, so look, this offense has been known for making regular guys feel different. And look how a different guy makes this offense look different, if that's the best way I could put it.
Yeah.
Like, it was the right move for this team this year because, one, you went for it. You kept them away from the fucking Rams. Otherwise, the Rams would have done it. But your second, third, whatever, fourth-round picks, you could have drafted Jalen Hurd, fucking Trey Sermon, whoever it is that you wanted in those picks.
Previous years, Terry McLaurin.
Oh my God. Why? Why would you bring that up?
Oh, I know you love it. Love it.
But my thing is, this felt like the right move for this team. Everything is team specific. Everything is team, like what are they doing? How are they moving? That's why I never felt so bad about this move, because the team has missed on many second, third. And you know what? Forget the 49ers. Many people miss on second and third round picks. The 49ers just happened to hit on Hufanga, Kittle, all those guys later on. Like I was cool with it because I am a guy who wants to know the known commodity. Yes. Known commodity. And look, Axel is absolutely 100% right.
Yeah. Hey, whatever.
You've been
that's why they call me Spicy Aponte.
You've been toxic.
Keith, I was sad to see Debo hurt. Then I thought, yeah, exactly. More touches for Ayuk, Kittle, CMC. And that's the point I'm making too, is like they have so many weapons in this offense. I think not gonna say. Never mind. I'm not gonna say that. No, I'm not gonna say
what? Say.
Debo's the most expendable player on this offense.
He is. Yeah. No, he is. And when I said that on Grant Cohn's show a few years ago, I got killed for it.
Yeah. Christian McCaffrey makes the conversation easier.
But last year, Deebo Samuel saved this team. Deebo Samuel was the
Oh, absolutely. I'm not. Yeah, I don't want to discount that at all because he absolutely did.
So don't jump to conclusions automatically. Not you, not me. I'm just saying like about these players. So
Yep. All right. I watched. So Christmas was long. Had Christmas Eve at my girlfriend's house. We were there for until 2 a.m. Had a good time. Had to wake up at 7 the next morning. So I was working on Christmas Day, 4 hours sleep. I watched one play of the Broncos-Rams game. And you guys know me. I love the Nickelodeon broadcast. It's perfect amount of dumb in football, I think, really. So I'm like, hey, Dad, let's see what's going on, Nickelodeon. Let's see what the broadcast is doing. And Patrick Starr's on my fucking TV. And they have the actor, they have the actor in the background doing voice acting, calling. You want to answer real quick?
Tavares, me and Grant cool. We're fine. I hung out with him in Atlanta. We had lunch together. We text regularly. Like, we're fine. Stop making us try to beef. Not you, Tavares.
The internet.
Everyone else, stop trying to make us beef. Go.
Yep. So we turn it on, and Patrick Starr's on my TV doing, and the announcers go, "Hey Patrick, you want to do play-by-play on this play?" And Patrick in his goofy, dumb way, like, "Oh yeah, I can." Russell Wilson then proceeds to throw an interception, and I didn't know that I was going to turn on the TV for one play to witness the greatest play in NFL history. But hearing Patrick Starr go, "That's not what he wanted to cook."
What did he want to cook?
Unbelievable, man.
Russell Wilson went from being a guy who did Subway commercials to being fucking fried by Patrick Starr.
Honestly, man, it almost like, I don't want to go too far, but it's got to be the worst interception of Russell Wilson's life. And yes, that includes the Super Bowl one against the Patriots, because Patrick Starr was doing play-by-play on it, my guy. I just wanted to make sure we touched on Russell Wilson.
No. He got, look, imagine being Russell Wilson. Imagine being Russell Wilson and you did a Subway commercial that everybody has saved, even though they deleted it, everything. And you got fucking fried by Patrick. You got fried by a fictional character.
Listen, Nickelodeon, I want to talk to you real quick. Nickelodeon, whoever runs Nickelodeon, I know you're watching. I need to look you in the eye. In a time where there is so much political discourse about rigging elections and all this shit about
why can't we vote
Russell Wilson for MVP?
That's bullshit.
Can we not vote?
Bullshit.
Listen, there has been 2 Nickelodeon
Stop
games.
the steal.
Both times the losing quarterback has been named the MVP.
Stop the steal.
I can't even vote for Russell Wilson to be MVP. Stop the steal. Stop the fight. I am always right. I have never been wrong on this.
Stop the steal.
And we can't vote Russell Wilson for MVP. What the hell, man? When will the injustices in this country end? 1 vote per person, and I can't even vote Russell Wilson.
Stop
what
the
the
steal.
Hell, man?
Stop the steal. Andrew Pasquini, I'm tired of elections being stolen from the people. Unbelievable,
This country.
And Jay Mill wants to ask, have you finished beating that game for your daughter yet? I am 19 of 21 trophies away. I will tell you the funniest story that you've ever seen. I literally gave it to my nephew to play with Averly while I went and laid down, because after the 49ers won, he gained a trophy. He gained one more trophy doing that. So I am 2 trophies away from completing a game that I'm going to have to do over and over, because Averly has no idea what it means to get a platinum trophy for a stupid PlayStation 4 game.
Listen, man. I love our transitions on the Spirit Ride Option podcast. I don't think there's been a greater transition than Stop the Steal to Snoopy's Big Adventure.
Stop the damn steal.
Gammon, how have you guys given back to the community? Oh man, that's a deep question.
ODB said, "Me, nothing. Me, nothing. Like ODB from like me, nothing. Like that's not a cool thing." Gammon, I love you so much, but like if you want me to give back, like we will donate something to somebody.
Man. I my sarcastic answer is entertainment.
ODB wasn't sarcastic when he said
that's not my real answer.
Nothing. That's literally Old Dirty Bastard went on MTV and they were like, you've made all this money. How are you planning to get back? And he was like, me, nothing.
I fear the podcast may have just peaked with us yelling about stopping this steal.
Gammon, I'm sorry.
Cameron, we
If you
love
want
you,
me to give
man.
back, if you want me to give back, I will. You
Yeah,
know what
we-
you know what I did? Oh God, I gave back for.
Okay,
Oh
buddy.
yeah, I'm good. People who. You know where I give? St. Jude's. St. Jude's.
Yeah.
I always give to St. Jude's. Always, man. Because if I'm up at 3 a.m. and I'm looking at my TV, there's always those commercials that come across, and it's always and it's just like, and I'm like, fuck, man. I'm just like, all right, yeah, like, you know, like you got to give something to them. So no, Gammon, like I've given back, trust me. And when I go to Walgreens and they ask, and they're like, you know, do you want to give, you know, this amount of money, all that stuff. So yeah, you know, that's the way I do it.
Brian Boucher not happy handing the Seahawks title. Yeah,
Seattle.
Hey man, listen, Seattle. Like I know we hate Seattle here on this podcast. They're so much more tolerable without Russell Wilson, though. I'm going to be a
No, they aren't. No, they aren't. You know why they're not?
No, they're not. I hate the Seahawks still.
No, you know why they're not, Andrew? You know what I noticed? I hate Pete Carroll more than I've ever hated Russell.
Oh, I hate Pete Carroll too. I just without Russell Wilson.
No. You can hate both. I realized something really close. I hate Pete Carroll more than I do Russell Wilson. I do. Look, take that back, Andrew. Cook his ass, Paul. Look, I hate Pete Carroll. I think that's where I need to get to. And you know what's funny? They did enough in their draft. They did enough with this team that he's going to be around. They're going to get a top 3 pick, and they're going to continue to employ Pete Carroll. I hate Pete Carroll more than I hate Russell Wilson. That is my hot take from this regard.
Fair. Jason, Axel makes a good point. And now I think I'll be at Yankee Stadium opening day. I think I'm going to get after the Yankee fans do their little roll call, I'm going to get the Russell Wilson because the Yankees own his rights. And I want to get a roll call for Russell Wilson.
It's going to be funny when Carlos Correa ends up being the starting shortstop for the New York Yankees next year.
Why do you need a shortstop?
My bad. IKF Cleveland. IKF clears. My bad.
Yeah,
my bad.
IKF clears. What are you talking? Hey, man, bet you IKF didn't break his ankle in 2014, my guy.
Who cares? Holy shit.
Well, apparently the Giants and Mets do.
No. Well, the Giants. So at least the Giants are clear of the accusations because the Mets care.
So that's much better about that situation now than I did last week.
But look what Tyler said.
Mm-hmm.
Just got here, but I love what you guys do. Cheers, Tyler. Thank you. Happy New Year. Happy holidays. Thank you.
Oh, Jason, that'll be.
Back to the Carlos Correa thing. I think that what we've learned is 2 things. I want you to get off Farhan's back. I really do want you to get off Farhan's back. I really do.
Cool.
2 reasons. Aaron Judge never wanted to be there with the Giants. I am not trying to get you mad. That man was named the captain of the New York Yankees. He knew that was going to happen. That was more important to him than going back home. That shouldn't make you feel bad. With Correa, you guys did the right thing. If you believe there was a problem, then you didn't want to sign. The Mets feel the same problem. And you know what?
And the Mets burn money. Like the Mets can afford to make that mistake.
Not even that. It would be the biggest Mets thing ever to sign a guy that would have an injury for the entire time that they would be there. And guess what, guys? In the words of the great Derek Jeter, we don't hate the Mets. They're just the Mets. No, like, I don't understand. I don't care who they have. They could sign fucking Babe Ruth, Matt Scherzer, fucking Lou Gehrig. They could have every single great player. They are just the Mets. No one cares, Andrew Pasquini. They are not important. No one has ever believed that they were important. I can't wait for them to lose in the wild card round, in the divisional round. Like, the New York Mets do not matter in any form, or fashion. I don't care who they sign. They could sign anyone. They're never going to win. And that's not me being a dickhead. That is not me being a Yankee supremacist. Because you know what? The Yankees don't ever have to worry about the Mets. The Mets are just the Mets. Just the Mets.
Hey, Ryan asks, are you worried about the possibility of playing the Giants or Commanders in the playoffs? Honest assessment? No.
No. Oh, no. Hold up. I will say this. If they fucking face the Giants, I need them to win that game more than I need air.
Oh, yeah. Because look outside your window.
Right.
Gammon, thank you. It's the holidays. Make a promise. Make a promise that this donation will be made. We can absolutely do it.
I got you. 100%. Gammon.
I'll match.
Gammon. St. Jude's is going to get $20 from us.
I'll match Jason's $20.
100%.
I'll match Jason's $20. We got you.
100%.
We got you.
100%.
Jason, I was going to say something. I forgot.
We need to when we get out this, let's send our donations.
We'll absolutely do it. Jason, last question, and we'll get out of here. Well, what was your favorite gift you got on Christmas, huh, buddy?
Watching my daughter open up her skateboard, all those things, and
that's the best. Man. That's the right answer.
That's it, man. I don't need nothing. I need to be able to see my daughter, hang out with her. She was so happy with all her gifts, everything. I don't care. I don't care about what I get. What I get to do is watch my daughter open everything. Christmas ain't for me.
Yeah.
It's for her. So all right. My second greatest gift.
That trophy you got in Snoopy's Big Adventure?
No. Cooking that fucking Commanders fan who tried to act like, all of a sudden because I sent a quote tweet to you or whatever, I'm not watching my kid. You know what you get? You get a fucking big ass L, and you get to watch me cook your ass. So yeah.
I'm happy you said that, because I would have felt like a real asshole after your sentimental, like, A really opened the presents.
No, fuck that.
And my response was gonna be, I got a sick fucking air fryer, man.
No, you did. Oh shit, you got an air fryer? What the hell?
Dude, I got an air fryer that comes with 2 like compartments. It's amazing.
Dude.
Yeah.
That's incredible. That's incredible, man. No, I was going back because there was a Commanders fan who was like, I'm not afraid of the Niners, and I fucking cooked his ass, and he was like, go father your kid.
I remember that. That's so weird.
Yeah,
like, what?
Yeah, my daughter was asleep, and we packed up the fucking Commanders, and the fact that you even support a Dan Snyder franchise is your biggest L, besides the L that you cooked on.
That Commanders fan has to watch Carson Wentz the rest of the season.
That Commanders fan has to be a Commanders fan. And that is probably his biggest problem. And I don't think you understand that. But for me, don't pop shit. Trust me. Don't pop shit, and I won't bother you. I won't. But don't pop shit and say, we're not afraid of the 49ers. Guess what? Nobody was afraid of the Commanders. Andrew Pasquini called a blowout. Andrew Pasquini was disrespecting you all week, cooking your ass all week. What you talking about, bro? Fuck the Commanders and that weak ass song that they put out there. That song sucks.
Left hand up.
Left hand up. Them shit suck. That song sucks.
Luhu.
Right. I think we're done.
I think we're done. Yeah. We just got to the same point. Jason, I know you're a big Premier League guy. Wolverhampton Wanderers beat Everton. Wolves! 96-minute goal. We love to see it. Hey, Paul Madison, I know you're still here. 4:30 a.m. Saturday. We coming for that Manchester United ass, my guy.
Wolves!
Expect us.
I'm a big Wolves fan. Acknowledge the Wolves.
Acknowledge Diego Costa.
I love it. I love soccer.
Acknowledge Ruben Neves. Tony, thank you for the donation. Just wanted to say Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, mahalo for another great season of smart content. Let's go Niners. Tony,
love you, buddy.
You've been a day one. We love you. I love the Brock Purdy jersey.
Love you, buddy. I can't wait to see Oppenheimer so you and I can go back and forth on actual cinema. There's a lot of cinema that, and if you've seen Knives Out, I want to get your discussion on it because it's out there on Netflix. But Oppenheimer is the next movie that I'm looking to that I'm like, oh shit, this is actual cinema.
Paul Julian Lopetegui, better than ETK, whatever his name is. I don't even know.
Don't know what that even means.
I don't even know what Manchester United's manager's name is. I forget. I'm sorry, Paul.
Soccer sucks.
Hey, Jason Aponte. Jason Aponte, as always.
No, he knows. Let's go Oppenheimer, and I want to see actual cinema. Thank you guys. Love you guys so much.
We love you guys. Hey, subscribe to this YouTube channel. It's a good one.
Love you guys.
Love you guys.
Welcome, everybody.
We are live.
My name is Jason Aponte.
I am Andrew Pasquini.
We're working. That's it. We're working over here. That's it. Let's go Niners.
Let's go Niners.